next company to present is Nanofiber Solutions, and presenting for them is Ross Kayuha, their CEO. They are located in Columbus, Ohio. Ross?
Great. Thanks, Maury. I'd like to thank the Alliance for allowing me to come and present my company to you today, and I'd like to thank you even more for holding this meeting outside of the state of Ohio, where you can forget about the storm that's coming. We're tired of the presidential campaign that's been on us the last 4 months. So if you can extend this until next Tuesday, we would be very happy. But as I said, I'm the CEO of Nanofiber Solutions. We are a medical device company. We manufacture and sell a variety of products using an electrospun technology that's been around for a while, but we have a lot of experience well over a decade of experience in tailoring solutions for specific biomedical problems, one of which is a proven successful technology is our artificial trachea implant. It's been implanted 4 times in Europe, and our first implant in the U.S. is tentatively scheduled for next month. We are here today and for the next 2 days to talk about potential collaborations, and I'm going to talk about some of the areas we're working in and some of the areas we're interested in. Our management team is made up of myself, Dr. Johnson, who is one of the inventors, and Dr. Haritas, who has a background in medical device technologies. And on our advisory side, 2 people I'd like to point out are Dr. Brewer, who's moving from Yale to Nationwide Children's, who has a cell seeding process that occurs in the OR that's very important to some of our future products. And Dr. Sen, who's the director of the Center for Regenerative Medicine and Cell-Based Therapies at Ohio State and the Wound Care Center there, who's actually a consultant for us for our wound care product. The first talk was interesting when we talked about language, because we have actually had to break out regenerative medicine and tissue engineering for our investors and for non-scientific people. And we do that just for ease of use. We consider regenerative medicine anything that is stem cell dominant, and anything on tissue side if it's scaffold dominant. And so again, after the first presentation, maybe my presentation should be titled In Defense of Scaffolds, because that's what we do. We build scaffolds for a variety of different markets. We use cell culture plates in institutional research and drug discovery. We're actively seeking partners for in vitro diagnostics. We build inserts for flasks and scaffolds to target stem cell therapies, and we have a variety of implants in development. Some of the problems that we address, I'm going to go through 3 or 4 here. With our cell culture plates, we were approached by brain cancer researchers about 3 or 4 years ago. And a problem they have is they do not have a good model for in vitro testing of the movement of the cells. They'll take a cell culture plate, as you see in, as you see in the middle here, and when you place a glioblastoma cell on there, it'll flatten out like that, and so you do several types of scratch assays, but it's really not a very good model. So if you look at white matter that's found in the human brain, it's going to be aligned in this north-south format here. It's going to have certain mechanical and physical properties. Well, our founders spent well over a decade in developing nanofibers that could mimic that same physical structure found here, both mechanically and with physical properties. And so if you take that same glioblastoma cell and place it on our fiber, it's going to attach and elongate and start to move. And so this gives these researchers a much better tool in which to test migration of cancer cells. With regenerative medicine stem cell use, we're working with flask makers and bioreactor disposable bag makers to increase the rate of expansions and to help control differentiation in their products. So our products are basically an OEM inside of their products. In this case here, monoclonal antibody production. We can get anywhere from 300 to over 1,000% increase in expansion rates. With some of our scaffolds, one of the problems you see historically with a synthetic scaffold is the barrier that's created that inhibits cell infiltration, and a lot of times that leads to infections, which leads to an explant of the implant. And so with our scaffolds, this is a 7-day picture, and I draw the red lines here for usually when I talk to investors, they can't tell where things start and where they end. But our implant's there, and you can see that our scaffold is it's basically on average 90% porous, and the cells are fibers, are designed to allow cell migration and to direct it. And so you can start to see there over 7 days the infiltration of the cells and the incorporation. And if you looked at this in 21 days, it's completely purple. When we create a scaffold for a new clinical use, we go through a process that has over 20 different parameters we go through. It can be anything from physical properties or mechanical properties like elasticity or stiffness, just a variety. One of the things we go through is resorbability. So a test here that we run on a regular basis with different polymers and different thicknesses of polymers is, as you'll see on the top row, a variety of different scaffold tubes. And we placed them in mice, and after 14 days extracted them. And so the middle row shows the same scaffolds with the native tissue still on. And at the very bottom, after a decellularization process, the tissue is taken off, and what's left is the scaffold. So this allows you to see the different types of resorbability we can have in our scaffolds. We can tailor it to be resorbable in less than a week, to a month, to 6 months, to several years to be permanent. It depends on what the surgeons need and what the end product needs to do. So some of the areas we're working in, and we're actively seeking collaborations. Wound care and soft tissue regeneration. We are building our own wound care product with Dr. Sen, as I'd mentioned earlier. We have done animal tests with soft tissue reconstruction, and we're actively seeking collaborators in that area. Vascular, we have a blood vessel in development with Dr. Brewer, and we're interested in other areas there. GI, we have a hollow organ that I can't talk more about that's been in development for about 10 months now, and we're starting to add patches there, but we have several other areas of interest. We hope to finalize a few on our trip here this week. I spoke earlier about our trachea implant that's in use. We are talking with an institution about an esophagus implant. We have a corporate partner that is looking to incorporate our scaffolds on their anchors to increase long-term efficacy of those anchors. And with regenerative medicine, we offer the ability to not only help expansion, but we offer the ability to target stem cell therapies by placing a seated scaffold in the body and suturing that in place, and that could be resorbable or permanent depending on whether you want that structure there to provide support. So the same picture I showed before showed me some of our markets, some of the types of deals we're interested in. On our plate business, for example, we're open to OEM relationships and even a potential sale there, but in general, we're looking for partners that want to either use our technology to make their products better and more effective, or to co-develop products to go after the market together with. As far as the company goes, we are a relatively small company. We've been around since 2009. We have received $1.3 million in non-dilutive funding to date. We're in the middle of a $500,000 pre-seed round right now, and we're actively building a seed round with the goal of putting our first product on the market through 510(k) approval, finalizing our GMP development facility, the work with collaborative partners that we're talking about here today, and then clinical studies with one other product that we have in development. So in general, we have a technology, and we have the ability to build new products with that technology to solve a variety of problems. We are building a very strong IP portfolio. We've had 9 filings to date this year to date, with 2 more coming next month. And that IP is meant not only to protect us and our partners, but our future partners as we move forward. We have development partnerships with a variety of corporations and institutions worldwide. We go from the Karolinska Institute to testing that's going on this week here at UC Riverside. So we have a lot of things going on, and we are actively seeking more work with